Baiklah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will introduction myself. My name is Cindy Rahmawati. Especially my friend call me Cindy. And then my program study Economic of Education 19. Today, I will presentation about design of learning media with Azure model and Anderson model. Before that, I hope you watching video until ending. Next, designing instructional media with the Azure model approach. The Azure model was developed by Heinz Mollende in 1999. It is a well-known instructional design with using constructive perspective which integrates multimedia and technology to enhance the learning environment. Next. According to the Azure model of instructional design, the designer should follow the following important criteria. First, analysis. Analysis the audience, so the student prior to the conception of the design. And the next, statement of the objective. The lesson objective must be clear and sound. And the third, selection of media. Relevant media and content material such as shown, graphic, that text, animation, and video must be selected for effective learning outcomes. And the last, utilization of material. The instructor must make the lesson interesting by choosing appropriate material to be used by the learner. Next slide. And then the next 5, according to the Azure model, record learning performance interaction should provide ample opportunity for the student to practice the lesson and must be given adequate feedback for improvement. And the last evaluating the entry lesson is very crucial for further improvement. Next, design instructional media with the Azure model approach. The Azure model was introduced by Sharon Smaldino. The Azure model is one of the guidelines and plan that can help teacher plan, identify, determine goals, choose methods, material and media, and evaluate. Next. The Azure model by Sharon E. Smaldino steps are as follows. First, analysis learner, which is to identify and analyze the characteristic of student, which aim to determine the urgent learning needs of student, so that they are able to get the maximum level of knowledge in learning. And the second stage objective, namely to specifically formulate knowledge, skill, and attitudes that are expected to be mastered by students after participating in learning activity. Select method and media and material. Next. The Azure model by Sharon S. Smaldino steps are follows. This is next explain utilities, media, and material. To apply material and media, teacher need to do. And the next, require learner participation. With this approach in design and learning media, teacher must find ways for learning to do things as planned. Evaluate and revise. It is necessary to evaluate to determine the impact and the effectiveness of its use in learning activities. Next, design learning media with Anderson model. According to Anderson, the flow divides the process media selection is divided into 6 steps. Each step is reviewed until the end of the step, namely carrying out media design and production activity. Next. First, the initial step is to determine the character of the message to be conveyed, and the next, assessing how the appropriate method is in according with the characteristic of the learning message, and the next, learning message need to be analyzed more operational. The next, determine the media that is suitable and is accordance with the objective and is according with the characteristic of student. And the next, evaluation needs to be done to consider more careful the advantage and disadvantage. And the next, planning for media development and production. The next, strategies for using learning media in the teaching learning process. In essence, learning is a teaching and learning process. There are many tools and media available for a teacher, but what is important in planning learning and implementing them in teaching during the teaching and the learning process is how to use this learning media into an integrated system in learning. Next. First, fixed active characteristic, manipulative characteristic, and the next, distributive characteristic. Next. Okay, I think enough for my presentation. I hope you understand my explaining the material. So I hope you understand, and thank you. See you. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.